So let's now have a look at what are the things that make a horse go well. What are the signs of a horse going well? What are the signs of some resistances in the mouth and some solutions? Firstly, we want to see the horse relaxed, in a nice rhythm, and accepting the contact. What does that mean to be accepting the contact? We should see his mouth closed, his jaw looking relaxed, his ears perhaps flicking back and forward, attentive to our commands, and a general impression of a softness through his head and neck and a desire to move forward. All sounds very grand, doesn't it? But by taking tiny, tiny steps, by making sure that you have a bit that fits your horse that's comfortable and following a program, you can have your horse going easily, comfortably forward and accepting the bridle. What are the signs of resistance? Well, I would say probably the first one is the horse not wanting to put his bridle on in the first place. When you go to bridle him up, his teeth are tight and it's hard to even open his mouth. When you put the bridle on, he's chomping at the bit and he doesn't seem to somehow fit. He can't get his mouth closed around the bit. And then when we ride, he might tilt his head to the left or to the right to move the pressure off the bit from one side of his mouth. He might toss his head up and down, foaming at the mouth, or be excessively dry because he's holding his jaw in a tight, stiff manner. All of these things make our horse very difficult to ride. I'm sure you've all seen people when a horse or a pony has been tugging the child forward out of the saddle. Very, very hard to ride a horse like that. Some people will say, get a bigger bit. You can control him. You need better brakes. No. You need to think, why? What's going wrong? What's happening here that we need to eliminate? If the horse is tight or tense or resisting in his mouth, then we need to go right back to the beginning. I like to start from lunging the horse. I like to look at the horse's muscle shape and look at what would be a nice frame. Not somewhere where the side rein is being used to draw the horse back and into a visual frame, but something where the horse can actually begin to be all that he ought to be, to move on the stride that he was meant to have. I will use side reins with the horse, but I use the side rein to help keep the horse straight and to give him a contact to work forwards into. The side rein should never be to restrict the horse. It should never be pulling the horse back. The same when we ride. We might start at the walk, and as you walk with the horse, when you get to the stage of wanting to take up a contact, the hand and arm should follow the horse. The arm is in a straight line from the elbow through your hand, and it nods with the horse forward and back as the horse's head goes down and up. When you see the head going up and down and the ears back and the mouth tense or chewing or resisting, there's something wrong. Take your time and work out how you can help the horse to become more relaxed. In trot, most horses carry their head in a fairly steady position, so your hand can be steady. But when you move up to canter again, you'll find that follow through again as the horse nods his head and neck. We want them to move their top line. We want them to be athletic because, after all, they are beautiful, magnificent creatures. And when we find that harmony and that connection with them, there is a joy to riding that is unbelievably beautiful. Not only will you find success in your shoring, but perhaps even more important, you'll find a connection with your horse.